Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Committed Critics, a pop culture podcast where we're not only committed to our opinions, but also each other. Aww. Should we ever try a new opening?
I don't know.
I think this one works.
Yeah, this one works.
After 80 some episodes, we still all can't hit at the same time.
We can't, no.
We hit it once.
Radio waves.
What, Jordan?
we did it once.
The dang radio waves, guys.
The dang radio waves.
Gotta do it in
person.
person.
Dang delay.
Anyways, my name's Kevin Lau.
I'm Ryan Davis.
I'm Zach Wright.
And I'm Jordan Smearman. What's up?
Doing good. Living life. Apparently Ryan's
living
crying,
living the dream.
Ryan's crying, apparently, so.
Kevin, I'm fine now.
Ryan was crying last night.
I'm gonna be honest. This story we read, Kevin, was very dark, and we'll get into it in a little bit. But I am so tired and so stressed out. If I have a psychotic break this episode and just start fucking cackling like a madman, don't ask me questions. Roll with it, all right? I need y'all to just fucking roll with it, okay?
Okay, all right. So today we are talking about the book Monster Calls, written by Patrick Ness, based on a story by Siobhan Dowd, who passed away from cancer before she could write the story. But she just had like notes and the ideas written down, and then eventually Patrick Ness was approached to adapt it into a full novel. This is a challenge that I proposed to you guys. It's a book that can be read in about 4 hours. It's like it's like 207 pages, and it's got pictures in it, and like the text is like wide margins and stuff like that. So it's pretty quick to get through.
Did you say 270 pages?
207.
Okay, I was like, the book we had was like 140.
I read it in 3 hours and 15 minutes, so take that.
I kind of like spread it out over 5 days, like read like 40 pages a day, which I was still able to get done pretty like a half hour a day.
I must read super fast because I got it done like in 2 sittings.
Well, the first time I read it, I did it in 2 sittings because like I was so engaged with it. And this second time on read, I took my time with it. I
just read it all at once. I just sat down. I was like, all right, I'm reading all this. And by the end of it, I was like, why did I do this to myself?
It really pulls you in. This book is illustrated by Jim Kay, which some of you may know as the illustrator for the Harry Potter illustrated editions.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was published in 2011, and it is the only book to have won both the Carnegie Medal, which is for outstanding English language books for children and young adults, and the Greenaway Medal, which is distinguished illustration for a book for children. So like in the UK. So like it is the only book to have won both of those awards, which is unheard of. And also is Patrick Ness, the writer, is the only author to have won the Carnegie Medal twice in a row.
Wow,
good for him.
The synopsis for A Monster Calls is 13-year-old Connor awakens one night to find a monster outside his bedroom window, but not the one from the recurring nightmare that began when his mother became ill. An ancient, wild creature that wants him to face truth and loss. So, it's a short book, and it's hard to kind of discuss it without giving spoilers. So I want to say spoiler warning right now.
That's fair.
I go first?
We're probably just gonna go right in.
Can I go first?
I highly recommend the book.
Yes, it is. Pull a note from that I was going to say later. It is only $12 to buy brand new, only 4 hours to read. It is a low risk, high reward book. You know, it's also like it's aimed for ages 12 and up, so it's kind of like pretty much all ages appeal. So like it's not super complicated, but it is very rewarding for engaging you. Yeah, with all that out of the way, we can talk about our overall thoughts. Ryan, you want to start?
I wanted to go
Zach
first.
Start.
I asked twice.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Zach.
Completely
Zach.
ignore me. What the fuck?
Go ahead, Zach.
Kevin, are you okay?
Yeah.
Who hurt you? Why would you do this to us?
It's a good book.
It's a good book, but like, are you okay? Do we need to have like a conversation?
No,
like,
I'm fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I don't believe you. Anyway, no,
this is all really, I cry for help.
It's a really 82 episodes in. This is a very converted way of trying to ask Kevin for help. I thought it was a really good book. It's a pretty easy read, and it's pretty easy to see what the messaging and theme is right from the get-go. Like right from the start, I'm like, all right, this monster is some kind of metaphor for grief, loss, death, you name it. it encapsulates that, right?
Mhm.
Easy to follow, and it's a good way of messaging this theme to a younger audience and getting across that, like, hey, like you're going to experience this emotion, this thing called grief. You're going to experience loss in your life, and this is a good way of telegraphing that and, like I said, delivering it to a younger audience and an audience who might not understand that yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who wants to go first, Ryan or Jordan? Or next?
I'll go.
Let's have Jordan.
Yeah. So honestly, I liked it more than I thought I would.
Mhm.
Because I wasn't in the episode when Kevin, you challenged this.
Right.
So I wasn't really sure what to think. And I saw the cover. This is, I think, a good example of don't judge a book by its cover, because I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Looks a little spooky.
It's a little spooky. And I was like, okay. But kind of going off of what Zach said, it does take a difficult topic and makes it digestible for young adults. And I am glad there are books like this for a younger audience that can talk about these feelings and stages of grief. Honestly, like, grief is never easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish that I read this book when it first came out, because I was probably the target audience for it. Not so much dealing with grief yet, but I mean, I was 11 when it came out, when it was published. So it would have been good for, I think, to have this. And then now, like, as you get older and relatives pass and stuff like that, I think it would have been good to have this just kind of in the back of my mind. But yeah, I would say it was good. It's been a little bit since I read it, because I made this doc when we recorded last time. So it's been about 2.5 weeks since I finished it. But yeah, I did. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Yeah, you wrote your notes early.
I know. I had them in my head and I was like, I'm just going to get them out now before I forget. So that's what I was doing.
Mm-hmm. All right, Ryan, do you want to go next, or do you want me to go next?
Yeah, I can't. First
Okay.
off, Jordan, I like that you know that this book is a good book for children, but knowing America currently, they're probably going to ban it at some point.
Oh,
Yeah, you're right.
I don't. I'll look
Kevin,
it up.
I think they're just going to start banning any book that isn't about like children having fun at this point.
That's probably fair.
I'm like, because
So I'm trying to think of, like, what is the reasoning behind banning this book if it ever gets banned? It's not banned currently.
Probably because there's a scene where they're like, yeah, two people are naked on a hill. Oh my god, children.
I mean, it's implied. It's not.
Didn't describe the
man.
titties or anything. Goddamn.
Yeah. Maybe I would imagine maybe it's like, oh, like, my kid shouldn't be reading a book about someone dying from cancer. It's like, well, I mean, I guess, like, that could be a reason, but
Go off.
Shield them, they're children.
They can't.
I
know
gotta
about
turn my
death.
heater off. Give me 1 second.
Oh, damn it, Kevin.
It's like, oh
Surround.
no, they didn't.
How's it
The
going?
grandma doesn't discipline them. This is a terrible book for children.
Oh my god.
Sorry, give it a second. I'll turn off and. All right, there you go. Sorry, it kicked on. I was like, oh shit.
It's all right.
All right.
All right,
we're good.
So, on my notes, I just wrote in the very first line, "fuck," because that's how I felt after finishing the book.
Mhm.
I did binge read it all in like one sitting, as I said, and it made me cry. I like how they took a story that you've heard before, which is, you know, someone dying, but they theme it in a way that's easy to understand. It feels just as if not more emotional. I could heavily relate to it because my dad did beat cancer, but my grandma did not, and so I could only imagine this is kind of what he went through when it happened.
Wait, your dad had cancer?
Yeah.
This is the first I've heard of it too.
Yeah, back when I was in high school, he had cancer.
Holy
cancer.
shit.
You never told us this.
I didn't?
No.
I mean,
Oh.
I wouldn't. It's not something that Ryan should feel the need to say, but
No, yeah.
if I knew about this, I probably would have put more thought into, like, should I recommend this book?
No,
I would have doubted my
appreciate it.
decision a little bit.
did
I
not see
appreciate-
that
well,
one coming.
When I first picked up the book, I just assumed, oh, this is a horror book. Like, some terrible thing is gonna, like, chase after this kid for days, and I'm like, oh,
Wannabe Goosebumps.
no. It's much worse.
Emotional damage.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
so it was-
all right.
It was a gut punch, Kevin, but it was a good one.
Nice. I'm glad it was a good gut punch. I love a good gut punch.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring the mood down, guys. I'm so.
No, it's just a revelation that we're like, oh, okay.
Character development.
Yeah, my dad is happy. He's like, I'm a cancer survivor and a COVID survivor. So I'm like, yes, you are.
There we go.
Good for Patrick. What a trooper.
Good for him. Yeah, and my overall thoughts, as rereading it, I think it's still an absolutely magical, compelling, and heartbreaking story that strives for an empathetic connection between the characters and the reader, and it really showcases the power of stories, not just like the stories that the monster tells Connor, but also like how this book itself and also other stories out there, it's like how they could actually affect you emotionally and cause you to like self-reflect and really grow as a person. So I think having a story that kind of like teaches kids that how important stories are is really fantastic.
So I'm really glad that was your answer, Kevin, because it sounded like you were gonna be like, so it was good. Moving on. Right after Ryan just divulged.
So moving on.
I'm so sorry. Okay, look, it hurt. It hurt, but it was good.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good response to have to it. It's just we weren't expecting it. It was just imagining Kevin going, "Yeah, it was good. All right."
Ryan's experience with the book is actually like what the book was striving for.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, me just crying over on my couch.
Hey, man, that was me after I read The Fault in Our Stars. So yeah.
Are you serious?
It's an emotional book, okay?
Yeah. No, emotional. Fault in Our Stars really got me.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
All right, so yeah, moving on. What is one thing you liked about The Monster Calls?
No, I'll start.
Okay.
The book just doesn't hold your hand through it. Like, it doesn't give you expositions. Some of it's exposition, but like it's stuff you need to know. But like other things is like you figure it out as it go along. Like, I like the scene where you kind of just like, they don't imply what the nightmare is that Connor's going through, the actual nightmare. They just imply that it's something terrible and he can't stand it. And then also they don't just say like, oh, his mom has cancer. They just, you come to the realization when she walks in, she's like, yeah, she has a bald head. She's very tired. She's very sick. And you're like, oh, I know what's going on. Like like you slowly figure stuff out as it goes along. And I like how the monster seems like both a mythological like deity, and at the same time it's just Connor's own inner thoughts, emotions, grief, anger, etc.
Yeah.
Like, especially that scene in the cafeteria. Like, I was like, this is amazing. It's emotional as hell.
I also want to point out that Ryan's explanation of like how there's no exposition, you slowly figure things out as it goes along. That is what we call showing instead of telling, and it is much better.
A novel concept.
How about you, Zach?
The theme. I think it just hits very well. And in a year of last year or two where grief has been a very powerful theme, this is a older story and an older narrative that does it extremely well. It hits in a very hard, packed, and impactful way. And it does it in a fashion where it makes the audience think. The perspective involved and how grief takes on different forms. Is the monster actually real, or is it just like a manifestation of like Connor's conscience? Like, is it just him just talking to himself, basically? I think it's a really cool parallel to hold that mirror up to Connor himself. And then with the actual nightmare that we see at the end, I wasn't expecting it to be an actual nightmare. I thought it was just like the monster coming to see him was the nightmare he was living in, and then realizing, oh no, he's actually having this nightmare where he has to like let his mom go. It was just heartbreaking, and it is done in such a compelling way.
Yeah. How about you, Jordan?
Like I kind of already said, I liked the subject matter in a young adult format. So where we can enjoy it now in our 20s, but then thinking back, like trying to get into the mindset of where I was in middle school and things like that, like I think I would have enjoyed it at that age as well. Enjoy seems like a weird word for it, but regarding the subject matter, but but like,
fucking love this book, guys.
This book made me feel things.
Yeah, whoa.
Finally.
But no, I liked that it can appeal to all ages. Especially too now, just kind of reflecting on it, like Thursday was the year anniversary since my grandma passed. And now we're talking about stuff like this and just kind of how she was like, it's bringing back memories of how like often she was sick and like we've been planning for this for years and years, and it just kind of finally happened. And now to think back on it like a year later, like how it actually is and how that journey was to prior to her passing. So I think it's kind of a fitting time, even though it wasn't planned like that. But I also just really liked the exploration of Connor's thoughts and feelings kind of throughout the book, whether that was in the form of the monster or even just how angry he was or how he thought he could take care of himself and how he was upset with his own family and stuff like that. Cause it just seemed like, where am I going to go? And kind of just more of how he felt like an outsider, but he was on the inside the whole time. Well, he was a little bit on the outside too, because his adults were not really like his parents were not being super straight up with him in the first place. But I really liked that. I liked how even though it was in third person, it still kind of felt like we were Connor.
Mm-hmm.
I am causing more pain than I thought I would by recommending this.
No, you're fine. Like I said, like
I was like, whoa.
Honestly,
listen, Kevin, we can handle our own grief. It's you who needs to talk, sir.
Right.
This is your cry for help. You set this up.
And like I said,
Okay.
I finished this almost 3 weeks ago. So it's not like it just, now that we're talking about it and with my grandma's death anniversary happening, I was just like, wow.
It's all coincidental.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're good. It was a good book. It was a good recommendation. We were okay.
Okay. Well, because the main reason why I decided to recommend this book is because like I wanted to recommend something. This was aimed more for you, Jordan, because I read a little bit of Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I was like, okay, I see where like the plot's going, all stuff. Like there's a similar book with a similar plot concept. Let me see see if they like it. So that's why I kind of recommended this one, because like the idea of like, getting stories to kind of like learn more about yourself and like in the themes of the story. So, but yeah, I didn't realize it was going to apply this much to Ryan and Jordan.
Well, while Kevin dabs the sweat off his brow, let's go ahead and take a quick break.
Hey everybody, my name is Jordan, and you've probably heard me on an episode or two, but did you know I also have a baking channel? Bluebell Bake is by the amateur baker for the amateur baker. On the channel, I'll be posting recipes, tips and tricks, and more so we can all learn to better our baking skills. You can find my channel on YouTube at Bluebell Bake, we're currently posting monthly, or on Instagram and TikTok, both at bluebell.bake. Come join our little community where no matter what happens, we keep on baking.
Don't you wish there was a pop culture review site that appealed to cinephiles, both professional and casual? Well, look no further than crpwrites.com. New content such as movie and TV reviews, film essays, and more are released every week by writers who crave for movies like every moviegoer craves for popcorn. CRP Writes is dedicated to making sure no one is wasting time or money where they shouldn't be. After all, you have to be able to buy your popcorn and eat it too. crpwrites.com. Casual reviews with purpose since 2018.
And welcome back to Committed Critics as we continue to talk about A Monster Calls. And as we go over one thing we didn't quite like or doesn't quite hold up with A Monster Calls. For me, I just want to say that there is an adaptation, a movie adaptation for this. There's also a play adaptation as well. I know nothing about the play, but the movie I've seen, it's about an hour, 45 minutes. It's currently streaming on Netflix as of recording this, and it's fine. Like, it's...
It's
like,
fine.
Is it?
The Patrick Ness wrote the screenplay, and he has screenwriting experience, so like that script wasn't a problem. It's very faithful to the story, and it's directed by J.A. Bayona, which is the director of Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. Before he did Fallen Kingdom,
Yikes.
So I mean, like, in the cinematography was pretty good and the direction's fine. It's just like it's just an okay movie. Like
Is Liam Neeson the dad?
what? Liam Neeson
looking
is
at-
the monster. Sigourney
Oh,
Weaver
even
is the
better.
grandma. Felicity Jones is the mom.
This is a
I was-
stacked
I
cast.
looked at-
Holy shit.
I know. I'm like looking at it right now. I was like, what?
The movie's it's fine. It's fine. It's like I just wish it did better to be a stronger cinematic experience. Like, so there's another movie Ryan has seen it for sure. Kubo and the Two Strings.
Yes.
It's a better cinematic experience containing similar themes and atmosphere, and it's for the same target demographic as well. So, like, if you want to watch the film adaptation of Monster Call, it's totally fine. But if you watch the movie, you're like, that could have been better. Watch Kubo and the Two Strings. Fantastic movie. What about you, Jordan?
Of one thing I didn't like.
Yeah.
Okay, so I honestly felt like the story wrapped up abruptly. I know grief and death, death kind of happens unexpectedly. But honestly, for me, it just kind of wraps up in like 20 pages, and I was hoping that it would expand a little more. Not so much like after Connor's mom dies, but more like the build up to it.
Okay.
Because okay, so when I wrote my notes, again, this was like 2 weeks ago, Zach recently watched a TikTok about the scene in Arrow when Oliver finally confesses that he actually enjoys killing.
Confess, Oliver.
So when Connor finally confesses, it felt like that episode in Arrow.
Okay.
Where it's just all of a sudden he's like, I just kind of want her to go. I was like, whoa. Hang on there, Oliver. You need Oliver come.
I wanted to.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
like-
liked it.
So let's back up a little bit.
So
Tone it down.
That's where that came from. Like where it's just all of a sudden like I am just waiting for her. Like I just wish she would be gone already. And then all of a sudden she is gone. Like I kind of wish there was something a little bit in between, like from the confession to her actually dying. Instead of it being like he finally confesses and then 30 minutes later he's at the hospital and he lets go.
Well, I mean, like, even then, it's just kind of like he like confesses and then he's like, all right, we're reeling in the mom. Time for the scene change here.
Yeah. Like
That's fair.
that's where I just wish there was a little bit more right there. But like, again, that's kind of my only complaint with it.
Yeah, and to tag on to Jordan's, that's kind of where I'm at too. For me, like the build's fine. It's like the resolution at the very end because like he confesses, he lets her go, boom, end of story. Like, all right, cool. But there is still a little bit more to that grief that I wish was kind of played out. But I mean, it would kind of like the pacing of the story would go to shame after that. So like where it does end, like finishes the theme, finishes the story threads. It ends in a very well like good spot. Myself, I'm just like selfish and would like more at the end of it.
Okay,
because-
so Zach, you might like the movie.
Oh no.
They add a little bit more at the end, and that's the part I don't like about the movie. Like it just doesn't end. It ends on a low note instead of a high note.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, like, no offense to anyone who likes the movie more than the book. You know, it's to each their own opinion. I personally believe that a movie, like a story, should always end on the highest note possible. And like, and when Connor accepts that, like, you know, to let his mother go and accepts the truth, like that the story ends. Like you can fill in the gaps. Like everything after that's just purely logistical. What about you, Ryan?
I'm kind of like, so when I was upset about the abrupt ending at first, but then I kind of like came to like it because with the whole abrupt ending, it's like I felt this race against time. Like he needs to accept the truth before his mom dies. Otherwise, he will live with that regret for the rest of his life that he did not like say anything.
Take my hand,
so, like,
Peter.
Essentially, yes. and so the entire time I'm like, all right, he's got to make it there. And like when he finally gets that truth out, I was like, all right, his journey is over. And I'm like, would I have liked to see, hey, here's how he moves on after his mom? Yes. But I'm also like, that's not the point of the story. And also as a person who wants to write, it was like, I wouldn't know how to like do like make an ending after that without taking away the impact.
Right.
At least for me, like if I wanted to like leave you impacted, then the way they ended it, I feel like is the best way. But if they give you like, oh, like he moved on his life, or he's like a little bit better, he's friends back with girl Lily or whatever, it's like stuff like that. Like if you see that, then it's kind of like, all right, you move past it. That's nice, but at the same time, it's like you don't feel that it lessens the impact.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
that
for
kind of is
me-
what you mean, Kevin, with the high note thing.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. Like ending on that high note, but for me, that high note also kind of falls to be the climax where he kind of accepts it. And for me, just having that like, okay, and bring it back down for a moment, and like seeing that like for example, like seeing like a scene like Lily where it's like he like finally forgives her and like can like begin to heal and is like shown to be friends with her again or something like that, showing that the healing
Okay.
process
Kind of-
has started.
I felt like we got that after he took the note from her. Like that felt like that was the conclusion
Yeah,
to that
that's
part of
fair.
the story with the note. The
Right.
dad, I mean, there's not really a conclusion to it. He kind of just leaves. Grandma, we got her resolution. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm happy with how it kind of wrapped up. Oh, and the other thing I didn't like was just all the talk back from Connor. Like,
I mean, that's
I
just
get why
white
it's
life.
allowed. Huh?
Jesus.
That's just white life.
Well, I get why it's allowed. It's necessary for the story to show like his grief and his like he's lashing out at everything. But all I could think was, even if like my family was going through grief or something like that, they would still be like, "Yo, you need to watch your mouth." And if they had come home and I destroyed the entire house, I would have been dead. Like his grandma came in and was like, "Oh, she tore down the thing." I get it. She's also feeling grief as well. But I
Mhm.
still would have been dead after that. Like she would have torn the thing down and then came and beat me.
I mean,
I
I
get
think
buried before my mom.
Jesus. I just save her spot.
So
that
actually-
was the whole thing. I was
Keeping it warm.
terrified. Like the house scene, the trashing the house scene. I was literally like on the edge of my seat because I'm like, he is about to die. He is about to die.
This kid is fucked.
I do think the one thing to note is like how fucking shitty this family is. Besides the mom, like this dad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
dad, this
Dude,
grandma. like, what
Connor
the
was dealt like a bad hand for
Yeah,
sure.
Just like he's got poop coming up in his hand. Like this is awful. This is booty, my guys.
And then
That
his
boy needs
bully is
therapy.
his bully's just not even like like stereotypical asshole. He's just like a psychological asshole.
Yeah, he's like trying to
So-
destroy him.
So I actually want to do like a quick story surgery exercise with you guys. So
Oh.
what do you think is the main story of this book? Is it Connor and the monster, or is it Connor and his mom?
I think they're one and the same. They're presented as two separate stories, but in actuality, it is all one story. It's the
Yeah.
monster is basically Connor's way of kind of like when you develop, kind of like when a person develops another personality, try and like talk to them, like to,
So would you say like they are both like they're not actually an A plot B plot scenario? It's actually just one and the same.
yes,
Yeah.
Okay, because I kind of perceived it as like the A plot being Connor and the monster. So like the climax with the Connor and the monster is the
Mhm.
climax of the main story,
Yeah.
and the Connor with his mom is the B plot. So
Okay,
it's
I can see
so
that.
which is Connor taking his experience with the monster and applying it to his relationship with his mother, which kind of like which for me makes the ending not feel abrupt.
Okay,
Um,
yeah. If you put it like that, like separating the two into two different plots, because like all in all, it is one story. That does make
Mhm.
sense, and it eases my mind on the ending a little more now I think about it like that in those terms.
Right.
I
I mean, like,
Yeah.
not saying that my view of it is the correct view of it, but that's just kind of like how I perceived it.
no, yeah, but when you break it down to like the structure of the story, like I can definitely see that as being an answer.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, moving on to our final thoughts of A Monster Calls. For me, I would say again, so you can read it under 4 hours. It's only $12, brand new. Everyone loves a low risk, high reward. So hey, man, go for it. It's a perfect example of a narrative therapy. So
You might, feel things afterwards you don't want to feel, but there's also that.
Yeah.
but it's important. How about you, Ryan?
Well, I loved it. I wanted a short film adaptation, but now I know there is one. Personally, I would have liked an animated, or at least like the dream sequences to be animated.
So the stories are animated that the monster tells.
Okay, so
Oh, cool.
then maybe I'll give the movie a watch because I'm curious now.
Ryan,
I did not. Yeah.
how long do you think a short film is?
Like an hour and a half.
So Ryan's taking the terminology of like film as in movie. And it's like, oh, a short movie is 90 minutes. So I understood what Ryan's saying. I understand the terminology is wrong.
Okay.
I understand a short film is probably like 15 minutes, but no, not anymore.
A shorter movie.
That's
You know,
That-
90
that's
minutes,
a
the
clip.
traditional movie length.
A traditional feature length film.
I just wanted to make that clarification. I was like, I just wanted to know. Okay.
I say a 15-minute thing is just a short now. That's a Pixar short.
A monster calls in
hilarious.
10 minutes or less.
Jesus. I buy your pizza.
If there was a 10-minute Monster Calls movie, that'd be terrible.
I don't know. It could work.
Yeah,
You just
make it work.
speed run through grief like that.
You're a good
get
filmmaker.
get all out at once.
Give me 15
I'd
minutes.
be depressed. Yes, I'm so sorry to the film majors. That's my classification for a short film now, is an hour and a half.
Ryan's word is law, apparently.
I love how Ryan's using his version when we could just use the standard.
It's a movie. It's not 3 hours. It's not Lord of the Rings.
It's a short film. A regular film nowadays it's a 2.5 hour movie.
And the movie is good. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It's a good movie. It's a good adaptation. I wish it was a better movie. It could be because like it does not reach the emotional highs that the book allows, that the book gives. So like, you know, it's not the best version of the story.
It's a muted version
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
Diluted.
It's the more digestible version. How about you, Zach?
I enjoy my time. It's a great read. If you are interested, pick it up. The duration is good. Subject matter. Just wish the bow on top was just a little bit prettier.
That's fair. How about you, Jordan?
Well, all I put was it was a quick read, but was it too quick? But
Too fast.
honestly, I think this is like, no, okay, I'm not going to count how many, but like about a year ago, I also read a book that kind of deals with grief. And it gave me a massive panic attack when I finished it.
Woof.
I'm happy to say this one did not.
Yay, character development.
We love to see it.
Yes. So there we go.
Yeah, that's our thoughts on Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. As you can tell, it's a thumbs up overall, it sounds like. So the picker of the next challenge is Ryan. So Ryan, what you got for us?
Well, it was going to be a silent voice, but I don't want to make anyone cry anymore.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that was depressing as hell. So I'm stuck between either making you guys watch Spy Family or Wednesday.
I would
already finished
say
Wednesday.
Well then Spy Family it is.
Spy Family's the first season's not done yet.
What'd you say?
The first season's not done yet.
They're just gonna watch the first 15 episodes, just up until the dog shows up.
15 episodes. Fuck.
Is this an anime?
They're 30 minute, they're 20-minute
So-
episodes.
Spy Family is an anime, but I think you guys will really enjoy it. It is a very wholesome action comedy about a spy who has to infiltrate. Who has to find a government leader, right?
Yeah, he has to find a government leader.
He has to basically infiltrate, like to form a relationship with a government leader. But to get to the government leader, he has to have a fake family, and a daughter that attends the same school as the son of the leader. So he adopts a child that is actually a psychic and can read minds, and he also finds a wife as well who is secretly an assassin. The spy and the assassin do not know of each other's secret occupation, but the little girl that they adopted does know because she can read minds. So she's the only one that knows what's going on. And it's just very fun, like wholesome family comedy.
Yes, it's
They go on wacky adventures.
I didn't track a word of what you just said, Kevin.
All right, you'll watch it. It's fine. It's very, very intro level anime. So
I feel like Committed Critics is like these challenges are just going to turn into you two trying to get Zach and I to actually like anime,
Yes. That's every time
No.
Ryan's going to challenge us, something's going to be an anime.
but not like in a
No,
bad
'cause
way.
I-
Just
The only other one I wanted you to watch is A Silent Voice, but I can't do that now because we just finished something depressing. So
What's a silent
I'm going to
voice?
hold off on that.
there is nothing wrong with liking anime. I will say that.
no,
But
there's
is
nothing wrong. It's just
There is something wrong if the only thing you watch is anime. That's my hot take.
I agree with that. Which I want, but Jordan decided to watch Wednesday. Damn it!
Well,
I heard Wednesday was fine.
it was pretty good.
It's great.
Oh my
Cool.
god.
I love it.
Well, that's this episode of Committed Critics. If you want to hear the rest of our thoughts on other topics, including Wednesday, I guess, tune into our full episode over on Patreon. Link to that below below in the description. You can follow us on Twitter at Committed Crits, YouTube Committed Critics, TikTok at Committed Critics, and special thanks to our current patrons: Davey Peppers from Game Mechanics, Ryan Kowalkowski from Ryan Plays Drums, Andy Phillips from Andy Phillips, Jody Wright, Devin Vonderhyde, and Brandon Morales. And we will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.